Yeah, hello. How you doing? Trust you're doing well. So I have this no great story which I want to share. It's something that actually happened to me personally. When I was working in Nigeria, I was working in a school. I was at the secondary school section of the school at that time. They have a secondary school, primary school, and they were preparing to have an A level college. So they threw the application open. A levels. Of course, the minimum requirement was a master's degree. I had a master's degree at that time, and of course, people were applying. I saw some of those who came to drop application. Some people were doing PhD already in UI in different places. Some almost done with their PhD. I think some that even had PhD came and applied for the job too. Okay, so of course, I was teaching in the school. I had a master's degree. One of the requirements for the position of the A level lecturer was, of course, master's degree, and then you must have, I think, 3 years or 2 years experience teaching advanced level physics. Of course, they were recruiting for all these subjects. So I submitted my application, even though I didn't. The only experience I had teaching A level at that time was just all these private lessons I do around. I taught someone A levels at that time, so I had an idea of what the curriculum looks like, what the syllabus looks like. I already had a textbook which I was looking through just to familiarize myself with it. But you see, when the shortlisting came out for those who will write the exam, my name was not included. Okay, so I said, okay, what should I do? My name was not included. But when the exam date came, I said, I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm in the school already. I'm teaching at the secondary school section. So I said, I'll just go and write the exam too. I prepared for the exam. So I went to take this exam, even though I didn't receive a message. But of course, I knew everything going on because I was in the school. So I went to the place where I was meant to write the exam. I entered, and then I was walked out. The man said to me, of course I know him at that time. Say, Mr. Jai, what are you doing here? I said, I came to write this exam. I also applied for this job, but my name was not shortlisted. I said, yeah, you were not shortlisted, so you are not meant to write the exam. I'm sorry, you cannot write it. Blah 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 and blah. I said, oh really? Okay. Well, I just left. I left that place and I was not happy. I was like, okay, what's going on? So eventually, when the result came out, they started interviewing people. They recruited those for different subjects: chemistry, math, all those biology, blah blah blah, account, history, literature. All those A level subjects. But there was no person recruited for physics. Okay, according to them, they said nobody passed the physics exam. Okay, so the student had no physics teacher. They were just there, the students were there. They would do all those other subjects. When it's time for physics at that time, they could not do physics. Of course, the A level school just started, so that's understandable. So I went and approached one of those there that, see, I can teach physics for you guys freely. I don't have to collect anything. You don't have to pay me. I can just volunteer my time, just teach. I'm in the secondary school level. A level college is not far from my office, so I can just walk down when it's physics time for them, just to teach them, engage them. After back and forth, I had to meet some people, all those things. There's a bit of bottleneck, bureaucracy, and likes in my school. So it was agreed that, okay, I should start taking them. So I was teaching those students physics, and it was a nice time. The students were enjoying it, we were enjoying each other, we were having a nice time together. And after a while, some of the board members had that, oh, someone has started taking them physics. They didn't pass through the board, blah 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 blah. And they said, okay, I think, because all those other people were still coming to write the exam, the physics exam. They kept on failing. They kept on failing. So they said, okay, that guy must write that exam and then pass through interview with the board. So I said, fine, I'm going to write the exam. So I went one day. They set the exam for me. I wrote the exam and then did interview. Okay, after a while, I was told that, oh, I passed the exam beautifully well, blah blah blah. It's one top professor that was grading, who was also a member of the board or something like that, something close to that, who graded it. And then I was allowed to do an interview with the board, and then I did an interview again with them. Very smooth, everything went fine, and then I was moved entirely from secondary school to A level college and I started teaching. Now, what's the lesson here? Sometimes when we encounter what looks like a closed door, we just want to back off and say, oh, that means I'm not good enough or I can't push. I didn't stop. If I had stopped pushing at that time, I wouldn't have gotten that A level job. I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to teach A level, to meet new students, to do what I really want. I mean, secondary school I was teaching them was not challenging. I really wanted something big. Actually, I was aiming for a university lecturing appointment. I've been applying around all over the country, but it was not forthcoming. So I had to just keep doing something to keep the time. And when I saw the A levels, I felt this is a big opportunity, and the pay was much more than what I was collecting. The pay was at least almost times two, not exactly times, maybe times 1.5 of what I was collecting, times 1 point, maybe 7, 1.8 of what I was collecting as the secondary school teacher. So I didn't agree for them to just sideline me like that and say, oh, you do not matter, blah blah blah. I had to prove my worth, that see, I can do it. I passed the exam beautifully well, which many people have come. Those who were teaching A level already at that time have been failing. I passed the exam and I started teaching those students fully. But before I did that, I offered them my free services. That's it. Let me just teach your students. Let me just continue teaching them free of charge until you get an A level lecturer that you are searching for. And people kept on coming around to write the exam and they kept on failing. But eventually I got the job too. And see, that's just how life is many times. We just have to push in for the opportunities. Sometimes you just don't agree. The same thing with the way I came to FSU. I applied the first time, they didn't pick me. I applied the second time, and then they picked me eventually. So, no grief for anybody. That team for 2024 is something beautiful to work with. No grief for them. Okay? Have a blessed day.